His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on a profession, you got to step down and protect your country, so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happen in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a noisy country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Connaught Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action are done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. If that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, practically dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you Weah vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, you are falling in the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commends the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Their respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. he would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
The creator and sustainer of the universe, we are on this day, the God who keeps watch over each and every person, but more particularly, hovering by his presence, Kings 88.5, institutionally and individually. We are grateful to God Almighty. And thank you all too. You are here, you are great. You are great. God is watching over you because you are alive, and it is evident by your presence on the show this afternoon. Thank you. Welcome, every one of you. This is Real Talk. We go real, and we are fearless. We have nothing against anybody, but we've got one thing in common: the Republic of Liberia. But we cannot tread the same path. But Liberia is what we have. We may not be on the same plane, but we just doing what is right. And everybody will not accept, but it is for the good of the general good, not for specific individuals. That's why we say Liberia or Liberians. Thank you again for coming on. We can get started with our reaching out to you with some cash. Our partners, Radio Entertainment Liberia, is giving out some money to you through us, called the King's Cash Giveaway. This afternoon is 4,000, as you have always won. Many of you are receiving your money. That's good. Keep on doing it. You have to take advantage of opportunity in life, and this is one of several. Today is 4,000. You've already know the equation or the formula. You're not playing for 8,000. You're playing for 4,000. That's your benchmark or your number. But the fact that you are playing, you have extra 4,000 free. Just as you hear the advertisement, buy 2 and get 1 free. Buy 3 and get 1 free. It is the same thing. Your number is 4,000. You're playing for 4,000. Extra 4,000 is given to you for attempting to play, and you did play. That's all. That gives you 8,000 Liberian dollars. You deposit 100 Liberian dollars or 70 cents US. You're going to withdraw 8,000 Liberian dollars. You are only depositing 100 Liberian dollars or 70 cents US. The code *799 *24#. Did you get it? *799 *24#. That's all. And then the last step is your withdrawal. 4,000 gives you 8,000. So you will be withdrawing 8,000. You can play as many times as you can. It does not matter where you are, whatever you are doing. What matters is you must have money. In the absence of money, listen, you are not literally dead, but you are financially dead. God first, money second. If you can say money is the second God from earthly standpoint, yes, you'll be right. Money is essential. The world can never exist without money. God created the world. The next thing that came into being was money. Money played a central role in the dispensations that follow. Money is playing a key role in this dispensation, and money will continue to play a very central role in what is referred to as the new heaven, the new earth, or the new world. Money will never pass away. Yeah, that expression here, Jesus said, heaven and earth will pass, but my word will not. Money is within his word. Money can pass away. So take it serious, get your 8,000, and then you can decide. In the absence of money, you are never an independent man. You are never an independent woman. You are just nothing. You will just be a subservient character looking up to people. But when you can strive for money, you take advantage of opportunities like what Kings 88.5 through our partners Radio Entertainment Liberia is offering. Then you are independent. You can make decision for yourself. Again, it's 4,000 you are playing. That is your number or your amount. You will have extra 4,000 for playing. The only thing you need to do, deposit 100 Liberian dollars. And I cannot tell you, you know more than I know, that you spend more than $100 in more than 100 ways. So $100 isn't a huge amount for you that you cannot put in to give you 8,000. You can. You put in that 100 Liberian dollars or 70 cents US, and then you put in the code for withdrawal. Just as you go to the ATM machine, you put in your number, and then what comes out? The money. So your ATM for withdrawal is *799*24#. That's all. Start playing. Play as many times. You can be called at any time that your 8,000 Liberian dollars in your account. That's it. Ansu Fambule, New York City, Willem Hoff, Minnesota, USA, the epic center of ICE, but God is in control. God has everything in place. It hurts. It's frustrating. We are with you in prayer, but it will come to an end. No crisis lasts forever. Musa A. Sharif, Sophie, Congo Town, Emmanuel Bro, Minnesota, USA, Jeff Comonte, District 16, James Zofley, Lefoco, Mattress Factory, that's Kings Peter Town, Michael's Cole, where your comfort zone, Novin Town, where is that? Alice Williams, District 10, Cogway Widow, Mangibi County, Saturday Woodaware, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, Alexander Dolly, Tennessee, USA, Eugene Jobo, Capital Bypass, Benson Devil, Victor, Broad Street, Fatu Sharif, Dubon Hill, North Carolina, Charlotte, USA, Lawrence Moore, Stanley Bozo, Congress City, Vinicius Bar, Newcretown, Claude de Port, Ziki Leo Pico, Newcretown, Claude de Port, Kelvin E. Red, Marshall City, Blamo, Nimland, Rhode Island, USA, Nevet Pevet, Morovia, Willem Sumaru, that's Willem Wooler, Willem W. Wooler, official spokesperson, Civil Rights Movement, Caldwell, Lassana Zodua, Rocktown, you're from your home, Rocktown, from street, that's good. Juju One Way, Boakat Zodua, Mecklin Street, Heron Tito, Zeki Pico, David Givler, yes, Clady Allison, Delaware, USA, Augustine Musa, Fatu Kone, Magebe County, Rising Sun, Dallas, Texas, USA, Stephen Yakade, District 2, Lower Magebe County, Abraham Labla, Gaza, Soul Clinic, Gaza, Royal Always Va, David Tape, Amara Kamara, Brussels, Belgium, Gamonte Macintosh, Oro, Gaytown, Julie Johnson, Jumon Colley, Jikonti Chie, Lawrence Renning, Sonin Wen. Okay, all of you great people. Rita Christine Hills, Massachusetts, USA, Navarros M. Navarros, hi there. I don't know your time zone, but let me use the universal protocol. Say hi. I guess you have overcome it now. Yes, that's what it is. It wasn't a good night last night for your team, Real Madrid. Yeah, from 12, where they say where Madrid was at the second place, they dropped to 9. The new format of the UEFA Champions League, it's just crazy. Yeah. My dear sister Orita Sonewe Choir, good to have you on. Hope that you are faring well. Thank you for everything. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. You are a very good lady, very good woman, just as Navarros M. Yes, very good man. All right, Navarros, it's 10 a.m. your time there in Toronto. That's good. All right. Thank you all for coming on. Let's get to what we've got. Then we are out for today. Few developments unfolding out of Liberia. Mali has tightened control over the production of civil-use explosives in the country. The junta announced it is taking 51% ownership of stake in a new explosives company with Chinese partners. The center was created to reduce Mali dependence on imports and secure supplies for mining sector, quarries, and major civil engineering works, while tightening oversight of these sensitive products. Since 2022, Bamako has tough regulations on explosives amid the fight against terrorism and the spread of improvised explosive devices. A Ugandan court has freed renowned government critic, human rights activist, and lawyer, Dr. Sarah Beretti, pending bail. Beretti was jailed on December 30th last year on charges of unlawfully obtaining and circulating voters' national data without authorization by the Electoral Commission, an offense she denied. Banguda Road Chief Magistrate Winning Yanka ordered Beretti to pay a cash bill on 1 million shillings, that is approximately $234, and to deposit her passport with the court, while each of her sureties were ordered to commit a non-cash bond of 10 million shillings. The court had scheduled her case for hearing on February 27. And the Confederation of African Football has handed Senegal coach Papi Thiaw a 5-match suspension and a 100,000 fine for unsporting conduct after he instructed his players to walk off the pitch during the African Cup of Nations final in Morocco. Senegalese players Ismaila Sarr and Liman Barrow have been banned for 2 CAF matches for the similar similar misconduct, with the Senegalese team also facing a fine of 615,000. Morocco has likewise been penalized, receiving a 315,000 fine for improper conduct, while defender Akraf Hakimi has been suspended for 2 matches for unsporting actions, the Confederation of African Football said. Let's get to developments unfolding here now. Let's start this way. Life is such, when you have grown, the Lord say above 18, you are independent, you are a grown person, decision making is on to you, and no one can tamper with that, which they refer to as infringement. Advantageously, when you are exposed, literally, you take responsibility for every decision. And then in a culture that is referred to as democratic culture, with constitutional provision, you find yourself in a position that whatever decision you take has to be respected. And that's what it is in life, just everything. You want to respect people for their decision. Everybody cannot be on the same side, but everybody respects everybody for his or her decision. What I do not like in life is imposition, because imposition, it makes you to feel that you're better than the next person, and that person isn't normal by any standard of normal human being, that you question the person's decision. We have to graduate from such a mediocre or too petty of reasoning, especially imputing political sentiment into it. Every grown-up person is responsible for his or her decision, just as the person who is uncomfortable with his colleague's decision responsible for his or her decision. Ironically, nobody will infringe on that person's right, or that person would not want anybody to infringe on his or her right because he or she thinks that the decision taken is the right decision. I am saying this against a backdrop of a call that I received. We could not be on yesterday again. Sorry. Let me say we had a technical problem. It was beyond our control. And that's what happens. It's normal. But when I say it's normal, when it happens, you can't do anything about it. But it's not the normal that we off, or every day we off. No, the station was on, but we could not get on the air because what we needed to do to get you the sound, or just the sound, there was a problem. So we had to wait for today and allow the technical people to do the work, which is very professional. It happens all world. We're like, what was it this morning? I was listening to BBC, and then there was a break. Then later on, the guy came back. He said, we're experiencing this. They tried moving, and then there was a break again. What we call dead air in broadcast. Dead air, I'm talking now, you're listening. If I stop, you're not hearing my voice. So it's what I refer to as dead air, meaning no sound getting out. I think it lasted for almost a minute this morning, BBC. So these things can happen. So that's the reason we're wearing on. We had to give the technical people the space to do their work, and that was understanding. So day before yesterday, I got the call. The phone rang. And then look at the screen, not register number. And so I answer. And on the other end of the phone was, is this Sam Andrews? I said, yes. And the person introduced herself, a female. And the person said, I was listening to you. I was in the car listening to you. And you were talking about the government. You were so strong on the government. In fact, you even went on calling the president Joseph Boakai and person of your status. Why will you stoop so low? Let me tell you the reality. She's talking. I'm listening because that's how I do. Communication, you gave the person chance to say, and then after that, you can make your position. So she's talking, and you know the Liberian instinct of some women. When they are talking, they will sound normal at certain point in time. They're not normal. When I say not normal, blasting. So she's talking. I'm listening to you in a car. In fact, you went on, you calling the president of Liberia, Joseph Boakai. And you know you and the president are equal. Even the man you're working for, George Weah, he and the president are equal. So I stuck that expression. Yeah, the word she said, you, the man you're working for, George Weah, he and the president are even equal. I stuck in my head because I sense she indicted herself. So she talked. So when she got through, or I asked her, are you true now? Then she said, no. She said, Sam Andrews, we need to meet. We need to talk. So I said, talk on what? She said, but you need to come to my office. We need to talk. The way you can be on the government, the way you can be talking, you can be saying and things, all kinds of things. And how you know you did, you died. So when she got through, I said, Madam, most respectfully, I will not entertain this. Had I knew you were coming with such an unruly rant, I wouldn't have answered. I only answered because the name did not appear on the screen because it's not registered in my phone. Now I can understand that you support Unity Party. Equally, you were here when Unity Party was in opposition, and you had your people saying all kinds of awful and unruly things, stooping so low as per their status against the former government and former president. And you people will call none of your people, and say, stop. It is wrong. Life can change at any time. You people were enjoying it. So you want to respect people's decision. I said to her, Madam, I am mayor enough. Nobody take decision for me. I take decision for myself. And every decision I take, I know every decision goes with a cost. Every decision is costly. Every decision goes with consequences. There is no decision on earth that is on a silver platter. I want you to know that. Moreover, who, in whatever your endeavor, look at you and just blast you off. Who does that to you? Who tells you this is wrong? You are an educated person, I presume. Oh, Mr. Andrew, and you know you got to come down to Kings FM. I hope that she is listening in her office. I didn't tell her I was going to say, I allow her to explain. I just thought to share it because since she was more political, it was something other than politics, something other than government, we will have talked. But since it is politics, it is government, and she supports Unity Party, a diehard supporter, and I do not know whether she was supportive of those things that Unity Party was doing, but I know that anybody who supports Unity Party now supported every awful, every dreadful, every inhumane, every diabolical, satanic act against they from a government. Even today, they still do that. So yeah, how it ended. I asked her, Madam, can I ask you a question? She said, yes. I said, if I were on the side of Unity Party, as Unity Party propagandist or apologist, will you have called me and say what you have just said to me? Will you have done it? He said, oh, try to be around, oh, you know, and Mr. Andrew, and but you can be too strong at Kings, you know, this country here. Or I said, Madam, that's why I increase my voice now to make her to know that I can do the same. I said, Madam, will you have called me and say what you are saying if I were on the side of Unity Party blasting George Weah and the other people? Will you have called and say it is wrong? She was still confused within herself because I consider that confusion. So I told her, you don't do that again. Respect people. You don't want to stoop so low. As much as you are a lady, I respect you, but you don't want to do that again. Joseph Yema Boakai is Joseph Yema Boakai. You people sat here, broad day, with no regret whatsoever. You look at the president, sitting president, and all of your people call him George Weah. Some of your people said openly that they would never, and they never recognized him as president. One of them sitting down at CSA as the boss. What is the difference if I say Joseph Yema Boakai? Is he not Joseph Yema Boakai? Listen, how many times have we not said George Weah? But does it say that he's not the former president? He's the former president, but he's George Weah. What it takes away from him? You stand in Weah's presence. The only thing, don't disrespect Weah. But you stand from Weah, you say, Mr. President, you answer, he said George Weah, he answer, whichever way. The only thing, don't disrespect George Weah. But anyway you call George Weah, once it's in a respectful manner, a dignified manner, Weah answers you and you're talking, you're lecturing. He will not say, call me former president. You want people to respect you, yet you weren't respectful of the others. You're suddenly every evil against George Weah, you supported it to the extent, you're still proving it today by saying all kinds of things. In your time, in Boakai as sitting president, wishing George Weah death. You never call your people to tell them that it's wrong. And I said this thing before, let me say it again. This is a democratic culture. People have the right to express themselves or take their decision. If you think you are my friend and I'm your friend, that you support Unity Party and I am not a supporter of Unity Party, and you think because I'm not supporting Unity Party, so I'm wrong in my decision making, you wrong. Secondly, if you think that I am in hell and you are in heaven, God and Satan can exist. You stay in heaven, we stay in our hell. 3, if you think that it is wrong to sit on an opposition radio, and because of that you develop a mixed feeling or you become unruly. This is what I said before, and let me say it again. If you think it's wrong, all you need to do is cut off from me. When I die, don't go to my funeral. When I'm in dire need of assistance, never ever come there. Just say to yourself, he was on King's FM saying all manner of things against our government and our president. When I die, don't go to the funeral. Just say he was a bad guy. He was an unprofessional man or journalist sitting on King's FM and just talking against the government all kinds of ways. Simple. Lastly, as long as we live on earth, you can have nothing to do with me in terms of connection. I can have nothing to do with you. We live on this earth. The day God says, St. Andrews, it's time for you to leave or leave. That's why I say, when you hear St. Andrews' death, don't go there. Say he was talking against our party, Unity Party. He was talking against our president. Don't go there. Stay as the cleanest person on earth, as the most holy person. I regret no decision I take in life. No, not at all. So that's it there. Simple. If you think that it's wrong, then cut off. There are people in this town right now. They cut off every relation from us because they feel that we are in opposition or we are supporting George Weah. We should not. That when you're in government, when you support the government, and you're the cleanest person, holy of holies, you're in heaven. When you support opposition, you are in hell. They cut off, and I have never ever regretted anything of cutting off relationship with people. You cut it off, that's your business. It got nothing to do with me. I live my life. I don't go begging, asking for you, asking things from you. The one I have, I make use of it. What God gave me, I satisfied. That's why God said, St. Andrews, be content. Be content. And once you have that spirit of contentment, God will lead you through. Nobody, we don't go around asking Unity Party people for money. We don't go around our Unity Party friends. We don't attempt to do anything like that whatsoever. They don't see us dirty. They don't see us naked. They don't see us coming. In fact, when they see us, they think some of them can say, oh, you're in opposition. You're really enjoying you. They tell us openly. They say, they enjoy. We are really supporting our station. And we tell them and say, yes, George, we are supporting it. Because you know why they say that way? They expect you to look filthy and dirty. So they will say, oh, George, we are all the money you get. You want to tell me you're working on George, we are station, George, we are in supporting you. So when they see us, when we put our Latin in together, they say, you're really enjoying that station there. I say, yes, that's true. We're enjoying. That's how you bring the fool of a person. You bring out the clown of a person. They think that when you're in Unity Party or you're supporting Unity Party, then you're better off. These people sat down here, they did all kinds of nasty things here. These people wanted war in this country. The man who led our campaign, he looked at people, broad day, everywhere he went on all of the radio station. He said he would never recognize George Weah as president. Where is he today? Where is he? Fire Gboli, eh? Where is he? He was supporting, he was advocating for Unity Party. Unity Party has no time for him. The last time I saw him on Center Street, I almost cried. Right on Center Street, I saw him. I almost cried. He was too pitiful. Walking, looking for it. I just said within myself. But you said you would never recognize George Weah as president of Liberia when he was president. That you were advocating for Joseph Yuma Boaka. Joseph Yuma Boaka is dead today. Look at you. We expect your life to be by far better. And all of you who are supportive of this government and will attempt to infringe on people's decision, you want to be careful. Democracy is respecting people. Everybody cannot support Joseph Yuma Boaka. Everybody cannot support George Weah. And George Weah don't want everybody to support him. George Weah just want a unique culture where rights are respected. People can move on. Diversity or unity in diversity. This is no Nebuchadnezzar state. This is the Republic of Liberia. And I know Madam is listening. This is sufficient for her. The next time, and anybody who will just do that will tell you this way. So let's go now. What we have, let's start with the distrust Unity Party government has developed against Louis Brown. The government don't trust Louis Brown again. The government, Unity Party, has this uneasiness with Louis Brown. They don't trust Louis Brown, not at all. Louis Brown too early has fallen off the favorite ladder of Unity Party. Too early, imagine that. He almost plunged or almost damaged the relationship, America-Liberia's relation. He almost. All of you know what he did when he took center stage as if he is the only person who knows diplomacy, said that the U.S. was wrong to move into Venezuela to take off Nicolas Maduro. And you are aware of almost everything that he said and the kind of reaction it generated. Since then, the United States government confronted the Liberian government. Don't ask me. I am telling you, and don't worry about that. That is the reality. The United States government confronted the Liberian government, raising concern as to whether that was the position of the government of the Republic of Liberia, headed by Joseph Yuma Boakai. They will not tell you, we know how diplomacy works. They confronted this government. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sarah Beslow Yanti, in confidence, she will tell you that the American government confronted us on that. The American government is no respecter of a person, no respecter of a president. The American government is bold. They confront you when they're not comfortable with certain things or just anything. But they wouldn't come to tell you neither way. The government of the day say the American government confronted us on that. They will always try to keep it quiet. And within that quietude or behind the scene, they will take the necessary action. Because Louis Brown messed everything up, Sarah Beslow Yanti has taken on the responsibility to do the representation of Liberia. You're going to see Sarah Beslow Yanti at most of the United Nations meetings. You're going to see Sarah Beslow Yanti at most of Liberia's meetings or meetings that Liberia has to be a participant from its position as United Nations Security Council non-permanent seat representative. It started a couple of hours ago. Now, for this, about the Middle East, what is unfolding, Louis Brown could do a representation. It's just the same as what unfolded. But this time around, the government opted that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sarah Beslow Yanti herself, do that. Just as Louis Brown was introduced by the President of the United Nations Security Council, so Sarah Beslow Yanti was. Here is an excerpt I'm about to share with you on the appalling situation in the Middle East and other issues, given the sensitivity of the debate and the fear that if Louis Brown had taken charge of the designated Louis Brown, he would press chakla, as we say in Liberia. The Minister of Foreign Affairs took on that responsibility herself. Have a listen.
Minister of Foreign Affairs of Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I thank the Somali presidency for...
Oh, no, sorry. Let's go there.
...convening this high-level debate and the briefers for their insightful interventions. Mr. President, Excellencies, the Middle East is not a distant theater of conflict. It is a central this high-level debate and the briefers. Thank you, Mr. President. And I thank the Somali presidency for convening this high-level debate and the briefers for their insightful interventions. Mr. President, Excellencies, the Middle East is not a distant theater of conflict. It is a central test of whether this council can still shape outcome.
Just so you know, he was put at the back seat. Louis Brown was put at the back seat, just so you know, just like a bag boy, a special assistant to the high-profile person who holds her bag or her file that contains her statement when she gets ready. That's how Louis Brown. Louis Brown. If you watch the scene, Louis Brown is sitting in the back. Hold on. I want you to get that. Hold on, please. I beg you. I want you people to see that. They put him in the back. In the back. The way they put him in the back. Want you to see something. Yeah. He was put in the back. Please. Let's have this break. I want you to see. Let's have this break. Then we continue, and then I will be doing it.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the world. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the government. No one to trust. My people don't want to hope on nobody. My hope that I have been broken. Telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people People tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but then instead they delay. People suffer.
So I'm trying to get it so that you see his position. He's sitting, or he sat like a sorrowful child, a pitiful person, a person who blundered and knows that he blundered. That's how you see Louis Brown sitting right behind Sarah Beslow Yanti. What he did was a complete embarrassment. It put the Liberian government into a terrible situation. So the decision was, look, let's pause this man for a while. As much as he supports us, but his position is threatening the relationship between the United States and Liberia. And the best option is to keep him in the back. The foreign minister was told by President Boakai to take full responsibility. Louis Brown first charge, can you imagine? I just want you to see the man sitting in the background, not necessarily the Minister of Foreign Affairs. You already know, I told you people that the American government confronted Liberia on that. The government here took a decision, and that decision to keep Brown in the back for a while. Not that he will not represent, but no, he will have to sit in the back for a while because of what he did. He should not have done that. He took a position. Why it is true, how they call the group, they say A3. And what did he say? A3. But Liberia, part of the A3, he included Liberia. He called the three countries that made up the A3. So Liberia took a stand, and that stand was condemning the United States. Why other countries were
strengthening the rule of law improved?
Very, very tactical. Why other countries were very tactical in their approach, given the precarious nature of that situation in Venezuela, Louis Brown opted to show up. So they would say, Liberia did it, oh, Liberia. And he messed things up. I want you to see just that for a couple of, just a minute or two, then we're done with that. Just want you to see Louis Brown position where he's sitting. The rescue. They man messed things up. When the people telling you George Weah recalled the man because he blundered, you ain't believing. You don't. I've always told people, never ever attempt to prove a point to opposition. When it is your desire to prove a point to the opposition, when it is your desire to prove a point to the opposition, like Unity Party does most of the time, you get it wrong. You mess yourself up. That is exactly what happened. I just want you guys to see a position,
of Liberia.
To see Louis Brown position. Here is it.
Mr. President, and I thank the Somali presidency for convening this high-level debate and the briefers for their insightful interventions. Mr. President, Excellencies, the Middle East is not a distant theater of conflict. It is a central test of whether this council can still.
All right, you seen Louis Brown? You're seeing Louis Brown in the back? You see the man sitting? You see how the man looking pitiful? You see guilt running throughout. This is Louis Brown. This is the special aid. I don't know whether she's special aid or so, the foreign minister, but this is Liberia right here. This group here, 1, 2, 3. I think, and the other one behind, that's Liberia's representative. Look at Louis Brown's position. Look at, you see how he's looking? Look at his countenance. You see guilt.
shape outcomes rather than merely cataloging suffering. In the Middle East, we do not confront one crisis. We face a chain reaction of wars, reprisals, and unresolved grievances, each feeding the next. Liberia's own experience reminds us that silencing guns matters, but peace does not come from silence of the guns alone. It comes from choices made early, deliberately, and sustained over time.
All right. I just thought that I should share that with you just to see Louis Brown's position. That's all. So you see that. Most of what will be unfolding, even though the minister giving or schedule and a long trip here and there, she wouldn't be there most times or most often. But given the nature of whatever they have, you'll see the foreign minister herself. They will not entrust that responsibility to Louis Brown. They're not too comfortable. And don't be surprised if you hear that Louis Brown has been withdrawn. Don't be surprised. So, Mr. President is off Liberia if he hasn't left. He is leaving Liberia today, and he will be off the country from today to the 31st. He is going to Ghana the 29th today, and then he returns to Liberia on the 31st of this month. Senator Snowe raised a concern as to whether the president is going with a private jet, or he's going to ride a private jet, or a business class, or whatever. And that was a legitimate concern. But all of us knows that Joseph Iman Boakai moves with private jet. The private jet that was wrong yesterday is good today. So in the Senate today, because the Senate convened, Senator Snowe said that they needed to know. But again, that question was not for the Senate, but the executive. They manage everything they affairs. I think what they should be raising, what I thought Senator Snowe would have raised, the expenditure aspect of the president's travels. I think Mr. President has made pretty close to 25, if not more than 25. And Mr. President uses taxpayers' money. Mr. President is not in private life. He's not using his personal money. He's using money paid as tax by the woman selling kerosene on the sidewalk, by the man tying coal, by the woman on the table, by that lady who is taking her goods in a wheelbarrow from one end to another, by the man who is selling in the shop. That's the money Mr. President is using. He's not himself. He is the property of the country. Mr. President is the property of this country. Public money is being used on him. Therefore, just as he said no business as usual, Mr. President needs to give an expenditure, since he cannot, his office cannot. It behooves, or it becomes the responsibility of the legislature to raise concern about that Mr. President has to give account. Let's know how many dollars the president uses whenever he travels. What is his everything travel expenditure? He has a specific budget line, but it doesn't stop him. There's no law that says because you're the president and your office has, or your budget is 2.8 million. So you just use the 2.8 million, you can't give account. It does not say because you're speaker and you have 2.5 million to run your office, you cannot give account of that money, how it is being used. They know that very well. That's why yesterday they were asking. They were calling on George Weah people to give expenditure. They were hard on accountability. They were pressing for accountability here and there. Because yesterday it was public money, as it is public money today. I think that's the concern. Whether Mr. President rides private jet or public jet, Mr. President office only need to give account of the expenditure nature of his travels here and there, because it is not his personal money. It is not even donor money. Even if it is donor money, you have to give account. Who gave you that money? Just as Mr. President said, his friend gave him 285 pieces of machines. And then the country said, let us know. Give account. Accountability is just to say, this is how we use this. This is what we did with it. And this is the result. That's all. So I thought Senator Snowe would have said, it doesn't matter the president rides or flies private jet or not. Rather, let's focus on the president office or asking the executive to give a full report of his travel expenditures. Just as they raised the issue to call in the Minister of Labor, Senator Snowe is right on this one. So he prevailed on his colleagues to call in the Minister of Labor to give them an understanding of the 70,000 job creation Mr. President announced in his State of the Nation address. What is that? Accountability. Yeah, they want to give them a fair appraisal of how the 70,000 jobs, where it is, how it's being used by whom, Liberians, foreigners in general, just a full understanding. That's what it is. That's accountability right there. So the same should go for Mr. President. The same should go. Let's have a listen to the senator, then we move on to the last, and then we are out.
Vision of 70,000 jobs in the country. However, the letter is straightforward. The president informed the nation that in the year under review, that was 2025, 70,000 short and medium-term jobs were created. I'm not seeing the president lie. We thank the president. This communication is only asking the Ministry of Justice, of Labor, to come here and give us a breakdown of the 70,000 jobs. I'm giving 2 minutes. I enjoy my 2 minutes on our rooms. So let the Minister of Labor come and tell us the 70,000 jobs we created in 2025. Here is the breakdown of the 20,000 jobs, of 70,000 jobs. It's, however, important to note that a few days ago, the Minister of Information called a press conference and told the world that some of the data in the president's address was wrong. Yes, he said it. So this Senate or this legislature must have the courage, the spirit, and the balls to call on the president to either resubmit his report to this legislature. Right now, the spirit. Already, the official platform of the government has informed us that the president report to the legislature was based on falsehood, that the information in there was wrong. So, tell him, man, can you share me to my job? I mean, the poor nobody is 5 years, he's like a sharing squad, man. He's like a country job, man. Oh, you want a sharing squad? No, you got 15 more seconds. No problem, he's just sharing my 15 seconds. So, Mr. Presiding, the document in our archive in the depository of this legislature delivered by the president is based on falsehood. That document must either be represented or the president must write up based on the information for the Ministry of Information that the president gave us the wrong information and sent us the correct information for our archive. Thank you. 2 minutes.
That Senator Snow, with his position, that the labor minister should come in to give them a full understanding. And no better person to do that than the man who is responsible for the job sector called the Ministry of Labor. He superintends or regulates the job market. So he's the right person to move in. Senator Snow is right on that. And they have to stop that childish thing, man. Come on. How we like watching and listening to parliaments in other countries than our own. Because the guys, not all, no disrespect to all of them, but I'm referencing those guys. You listen to what's name. The man is on the floor. You give the man chance. If you don't have anything to say, you don't interrupt your colleague. It's immoral, it's unethical, it's uncivilized, it's undemocratic, it's on office. That's what they do. No reason. No wonder when they get out of this country, they look too inferior in the eyes of other people. When legislators from other countries come here, they look inferior to those guys in their own country because they are just petty in their conduct. Your colleague is on the floor. Give him a chance. You can't be talking in the background saying all kinds of elementary thing. But again, that's the kind of legislature we have. So we look forward to see the boss of labor going there to give a full breakdown of the 70,000 that the president announced. That will take me lastly to Kula Fofana confirmation, confirming GMB auto script, that the president script or his speech, most part of it was altered. That means change. You heard the Minister of Information putting the blame on the Minister of Public Works with the figure. And then the press secretary comes and said the president's address was tampered with. Press Secretary Kula Fofana confirms that parts of GMB address were altered. That means change. PR blame Roland Giddings for line change. Kula Fofana comes back and say investigation is on the way. PR said they corrected the misquotations. Whatever it is with their different positions, this is my position on this thing. It's awful. It's disorganized. It tells anybody the vulnerability of Joseph Yeman Boakai. Moreover, if Boakai cannot take action, then it means truly he is not the one in charge. If the press secretary can confirm that the president's speech was tampered with, it means that anybody can tamper with Joseph Boakai with anything. Some people say that investigation, it will mean nothing because the Boakai people. Listen, God in heaven, the very God, entrusts people. Let me tell you why Jesus, and not that Jesus did not get in some things then. but he was successful in terms of people behavior, forecasting, and all those things. Jesus treated people in situations with skepticism, and it is not wrong to treat people with people in situations with skepticism. It doesn't say you are faithless. It doesn't say you do not trust. It doesn't say any one of the basic things of life. It only means you want to be on the safe side. Who told you that president cannot be betrayed? Who told you that president cannot be embarrassed? Who told you that president cannot be misled? What happened that today they are confirming? They are not saying nothing happened. And it is the media or some politicians, particularly opposition politicians, like they usually say, that are flagging it wrongly. All of them did confirm that the speech was tampered with. It tells you of the vulnerability aspect around Joseph Yuma Boakai. Let's listen to the press secretary, then we'll go.
So we currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation on. Currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation on. So we currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation. Currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation. Currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation. Currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation on that, and the Ministry of State will do all she can to really get the source. But I can say what was delivered, based on what we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, what was delivered is not the same version. What was delivered, based on what we've seen so far from our preliminary.
You're listening, you're listening to her. What was delivered is not what we've seen from our preliminary. What was delivered, meaning what we heard Joseph Boakai read, that's not what we put together. That what she simply, that what that statement means. What we heard the president reading, or most part of what the president read, they're not what we put together. Maybe some people, after we finish writing, they took all our own line, they put their own there.
Preliminary investigation, what we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, what was delivered is not the same version. What we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, what was delivered is not the same version. What we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, what was delivered is not the same version as what has been shown or seen so far from our preliminary investigation. What was delivered is not the same version as what has been shown or what so far from our preliminary investigation. What was delivered is not the same version as what has been shown or what we saw on the social media. So it's a different. We're investigating because that version probably was it was like maybe some form of draft or so, because we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, we've seen that it's very different. That version probably was it was like maybe some form of draft or so, because we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, we've seen that it's very different from what we published draft or so, because we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, we've seen that it's very different draft or so, because we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, we've seen that it's very different from what we published draft or so, because we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, we've seen that it's very different from what we published, because we published we did the printing of the speech booklet that we distribute to guests and people, and then we also have the team doing the regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content, because the content, like I said, it could be and then we also have the team doing the regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content. Have the team doing the regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content, because the content, like I said, it could be what it looked like a form of a job, but it's not a final, regardless of whatever the context is. The fact that it's a decision, once the Ministry of State makes that decision, will definitely go by that.
Too terrible, man. Too pathetic to Petit. God. So Joseph Human Boakai was just reading. No wonder why the president was just faltering. Everybody wanted to prove a point. I see you, man. So that thing they call investigation or your leader thing, what the people can say in la brother, vla. Nothing will come of it. Nothing. No disrespect, but this is not a serious presidency. I say it this way because there are graver things that happened in the past. Boakai did nothing about it. Boakai is more protective of his people than protective of the presidency. If you look at it, Joseph Human Boakai, who is the president of this country, he's more protective of his inner cycle or his people that he liked than he is protective of the presidency. No one, the first person who is protective of the presidency is the president. If the president is not protective of his office, it means that he laid bare the vulnerability of his office. And that's what you see from this. You know the embarrassment it's caused the country? They're just looking at it from the inner cycle. Minister of Information comes to clarify. Then you put in blame on public works. Should you? Yesterday they said there was no coordination between the ministries. George Weah ministry, there was no coordination. Everybody was doing their own thing. Is it not the same thing today? Minister, even if the public works minister or the public works ministry made mistake, or let me use the minister words, misquotation. Even if there is a misquotation, will you come to the public? It's not something that you have to speak with your colleague, your professional colleague, your ministerial colleague behind the scene. What is the role of the Ministry of Information? One of the roles of the Ministry of Information is to sift, is to protect, is to defend in a way that it will not bring shame and disgrace on the government. And let's use this as an example. If I was sitting over there as the Minister of Information and this thing happened and we get to know, I would not come to the public and say there was a misquotation on the role by the Minister of Public Works or the Ministry of Information, or the Ministry of Public Works. I wouldn't do that. I would only need to speak to the Minister of Public Works and let him give his side. Then we know how to move with that to cover it up professionally. But what he did with the Ministry of Public Works is too elementary. He exposed. It shows no coordination between them. Roland Giddings could come out and say it wasn't this way. The Ministry of Information exaggerated it. The rescue government, can you imagine rescue government stooping so low like this? The people who announced that they know it all, they said George Weah messed the country up. Yet they who get all the knowledge, they are messing the country up more than they think they are lambasting George Weah, because this one is a complete messy situation. Shame, disgrace. And Boakai will do nothing about it whatsoever. These people will go. That's why it looks like he likes when they say, when they're singing all over the place, we have messed the country up. We have messed the country. He's not coming back. Then he feels so happy, so he has no time. They use we are needing to cover up their underperformance. This thing, the first person that should be penalized on this thing, that the Information Ministry. Then you move to the rest of the speech writers. You expose your colleagues. It's unprofessional. It's just that something happened in Kings FM. Instead of protecting our own friends, then we make our own vulnerable. What do you think the public will say? The public will say, oh, Kings FM, they put disorganized there. Yeah, look at everybody exposing each other. They will not see us as institution. The first thing first, you protect your own. That's why when something happens, the institution will call that person to get the person's version behind the scene. The institution will not just put the person to the public. Given what the person will explain, then that institution is in a position to know how to go about safeguarding that person and how to handle that issue. So it remains institutional. That's what you do as an institution, as family. Government is a family. Roland Giddings is your professional colleague. To come out and say the Ministry of Public Works made a misquotation is to say the Ministry of Public Works intentionally altered the president's address. And then what happened? The president can look at it based on that you have said. The president can suspend Giddings. And you think Giddings will sit down and say, yeah, I just leaving it? Giddings will see Pierre as undermining him, undermining his work. You don't do that as Minister of Information. You safeguard everything. It is not everything you put to the public, but that the people here, when telling your PR, the only thing that man know, every day he must say something awful for George Weah. So what he needs to concentrate on, the petty thing I need to handle, he can handle it. That was unprofessional. No rational person can do that. No professional colleague can do that. Even if the Ministry of Public Works made mistake because you said misquotation. How grave is that? That you will come out to the public and mention the Ministry of Public Works. Then he thinks he's smart enough trying to save face. When he said it was corrected and the original version has been put on. It's not the issue of correction. Come on. Are you stoop so low? You call yourself educated people. The president has already read. It is not something that the president has not read and it ought to be distributed to people. The president already read the information going on that broadcast. The president did broadcast to the nation just as I am broadcasting. Anything I say and I go, it gone. I can't hold it back. I can't take it back. Whatever the clarification is gone. The people have it. They finish consuming it. They will use it against me. Mr. President has already broadcast. The man broadcasted the information gone. So what kind of correction are you making? It all but fair. I expected them to have owned up to their negligence instead of quote unquote clarifying and putting blame on people. Look at rescue government. Kula Fofana said yes, it was true. The government, what we put out, and now what we hear. You're listening to the woman again. Wrong.
So we currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation on that, and.
So why did they launch? What is the essence of investigation? It means something went wrong. Something went wrong that should not have, especially with people who are highly educated for their status. They should not be stooping so low with this. And you think that it is not nothing, it is grave. If this passes by, Bouaka does nothing of it, then that it tells you of the kind of man we have as president. Nobody should get vexed. Your Unity Party people, you can say any kind of way that your business, whichever way you want to say that your business. But this is the reality. Yesterday, you people were critical of the regime because you saw wrongs. And you people were wrong. You people were entitled to it to express what you saw as wrong. Coming from the presidency, then you have the same today, and you don't want anybody to say anything about it, then you should be having a mental problem. This is a grave situation. If I were Joseph Yuma Bouaka, listen, action is taken. Who knows the next address? They might tell him to say something against himself, and he will end up reading it like that. You think this is a joke? In a sound government, the Minister of Information would tender his resignation. the lead speech writer would tender in his or her resignation. This is grave. It is nothing to overlook. It's nothing to sweep under the carpet. If this can happen, it tells you what's going to happen in the future. Because if somebody did something and there is no correction, the person feel that if something happens again, there will be no action taken. Too pathetic.
So we currently, I can verify that we've launched investigation on that, and the Ministry of State will do all she can to really get the source. But I can say what was delivered, based on what we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, what was delivered is not the same version as what is being shown or what we saw on the social media. So it's a different. We're investigating because that version probably was like maybe some form of draft or so, because we've seen so far from our preliminary investigation, we've seen that it's very different from what we published, because we published we did the printing of the speech booklet that we distribute to guests and people, and then we also have the team doing the regular stuff. So it's a different version if you see content, because the content, like I said, it could be what it looked like a form of a draft, but it's not a final, regardless of whatever the context is. The fact that it's a decision, once the Ministry of State makes that decision, we'll definitely go by that.
Let's get to you, but before then, Perry Slobot, anything that will come after the what? Belated, God will confuse for coming. No, you have to put that together. Augustus Moore, what is there to investigate? Okay, Perry Slobot, I think you want to say you left out a word. Yeah, you left out a word. You want to put that back. Yeah. James Sumo said that means the president of Liberia is not safe. Claudia Allison said so lie. All right. It's grave. Very grave. It's not something to overlook. You know what I mean? Every time the president goes to do a public address, it's just like an accident in waiting. Something will occur. And these people will sit there and they will do nothing to correct. They will not think future. They will not think within themselves that let's try to think this way. Because that's how the white man thinks. And that's what makes the white man perfect. The white man will just think that, oh, look, disaster might occur at this time. So let's have a plan in place to thwart that disaster if it attempts to occur. Not that they are pessimists. No. But it helps you. You are on the alert. You always have a contingency in place. Look at how that event went. All right. That's it. So, Mr. President, I think if he hasn't left, he will be leaving this evening for Ghana. He will be there today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. He returns to the country the 31st. Let's go to the line 0772 23 99 33 0886 304497 0777 98 0375. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Sam, this is the voice of Sabu Rasta. Sam, I'm joining the show for the beach section on the African location. I call him Zimbabwe. Look, Sam, it just started with that unfortunate that I know me, will not share the same track. But every crew, I will get the power to call, they didn't know that. Yeah, they are asking us to come and the prayer with the channel will tell you the minute. So getting in the you will not there and blood there won't play in there. Look, all you see happening today, right? It's happening for reason. It's happening so that when people can see it and know that there are something like you got to be careful to experience. So they going to say that all experience, person great about that you have experience that people wait. That experience are wait. Let's take on you. Right in the one you see person who can say, that from mistake. I'm telling you, I'm making mistake. We say, oh, that is thing happen. No, you know, we are there. We know what we have to get that definition, and then come up with the nation and say, oh, this is why I think it was a mistake. But that never did that. But let's say they just by our argument that we say the people that these people are incompetent. They are corrupt. They don't know what they're doing. They are not qualified. They are not open now. They are wrong.
All right, Chief.
They want to keep the rich, very like but they don't want to know you. That's why I say that Jogla or Bosnia equal as you. Jogla is not equal in age. But not in achievement. When it comes to achievement, President Weah is
all right, Chief. Thank you.
President Weah a war bed. He's a European bed. He's an American bed.
All right, Chief. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's about calling for justice. Sandra, you can remember after election, that process for Nigeria, when you say all the ministers then they can lie. You can remember? What the men say and coming to pass. When they say all the men are large your person, we have paid the men to say it. The men say all the ministers in the comment they can lie. The person we have say it. So while we've been talking and go friend aid, they go money. Go free aid, they are people. So the people can lie. Nothing that investigation, that nothing that flat. They will not suspend nobody. Will expect a broker when you get a few money. Tuesday when that thing come up to fire the person right away. That we were expecting. It's a serious person. Right away you fire like 3 person. The public web minister, information minister, and the other person are ready to see. That's when you fire them. They will say, yeah, I need that good person. You will not fire nobody, I'm a brother. You will not fire nobody. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Esmoka. I'm the official impaired and now pushing for the return of President Weah. So, you know, anyway, the government of Liberia will want to do it. The fact remains that Louis Brown has caused the damage at the General Assembly. And when this issue, when the incident took place, when we were talking about their information minister came again to clarify. He said Louis Brown fought for the A3 country. It was not Liberia alone. But we knew what was going to happen for the fact that there are records up there on Louis Brown that he was recalled for going against our interests, our long-term ally. They overlook it. So that is very strange to see now the foreign minister appearing at the United Nations, taking the function of the ambassador. That's a serious issue, and this is why sometimes they refer to this station and other media that are speaking the truth are opposition. But most time, what you guys come up with, what we flag, is for the country. This is what we're talking about. The only thing that will change the situation of the General Assembly there, except Louis Brown is recalled. But as long as they maintain him there, that damage is already done, and the effect is going to be on Liberia. Look, to Bwaka, look, whether somebody change, somebody change, well, let the Unity Party people take the blame. Since Monday that incident occurred, Tuesday, Wednesday, today, Thursday, Bwaka has not taken any action. If they really show that somebody else put something in the president's speech that was not supposed to be there, suspension should have taken place by now, dismissal should have taken place by now. But everybody say maintain their job. Then you shifting blame here there. How you want for us to believe that what was in our speech is not what you guys wrote? So the only way that makes some of us to believe it is he begin taking some action. That's the only way that issue can be resolved. But again, the guys have left the president. They go and see for look at their job. They don't have the party guy. So he now vulnerable in the mansion. Anything is possible in the executive mansion because the president is not protected. But it's up to him. Thank you.
Mr. Carr, have a nice day. Hello.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer Mohammed, and I call from a Popo Kono. down Coaststone Hill, White Town community. Mr. Andrew, thank you. I don't know. You see, Mr. Andrew, everything that is happening today, God is the one that making up bring people to see the real issue from the fake issue. Yes, those guys are in power. Say President Weah was running an irresponsible government. His government was not coordinated. In fact, the government never understood what is governance. But what is happening today, we didn't see in the last 8 years, though. Did we see President Weah speaking for us to see the press secretary to say, 30 portion of his speech or his speeches was there. So my question today is, they and President Weah, who actually spoiled this country? In my mind, Unity Party spoiled this country for the last 12 years, and they are again here to destroy our country. That's why they presided over $60.5 billion United States dollars, and yet people were eating from the dumpster in Grand Bassa County. They have come to destroy our country. As for do them nothing they have to offer. But we always appreciate President Weah for giving us the opportunity to see what we are seeing today. You can have President Weah not concede. All around here they were going to say, oh, the papi, but now everybody knows that the papi is grossly inept and do not have the FTM do not have virtue to step any affairs of our country. So he has shown himself. Nobody talking around here. Andrew, nothing will come for international. I think they just share it. They are ashamed because they know they are ashamed. That's why they are shaming themselves. Thank you very much for always giving us the opportunity to contribute to our national development and growth. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Lama Bessie. We say, well, God never do wrong. The poor they will be confused or tell the sense you will end. The poor will only pay. They don't pay, they get good pay. They get bad pay. The devil never have for good pay. They get bad pay. The responsible for the devil to fight in a system. So if you already any people that bad pay they will get it. So I want that happen with us all. They will start out this happen. We don't know go. They will let go. Why would confuse them? God they say after for what they ask for devil. So thank you, amen.
All right, my
don't bring out our sense here. Don't go by. Thank you.
All right, my best. Have a nice day. All right. Let's go out of Liberia and speak with Anna. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Brother Andrews. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank God.
Okay, thank you for this. Ma Anna calling you from Texas, USA. Okay, so what happened here is my big concern is some people call it solar, some people call it sonar. But me, this is instead of lie, so I had to call it solar, but me, I call it sonar state. But what I observe is I didn't hear, maybe I'm making mistake, but I didn't hear about the president talking about the bidding in Lofao, in Foyao. The project for he didn't talk about it.
No, he did. He said it's a government property, fully owned, fully constructed by the government for ECOWAS to be used by ECOWAS.
Very good.
Regionally, he talked about it.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. So that made for Liberia, not for him, not his personal property. Very good on that. But then the mistake part of it is, of which we argue here is, it should be paid in Benjamin, which is the head of the capital of Lofa, not in Foya. People go to Foya. Foreigners going to Liberia, they're going to Lofa, they will go to Foya, they will not go to, they will go to Benjamin. They will not go to Foya. That's the mistake. Then when we pass a pass, we take it the way it is. Then, lastly, our president, when they gave him message to deliver to us, he should do proofreading. Because that message disgraced Liberia all over the world. 70,000 jobs, the Liberians are crying for hunger. 70,000 jobs, and Liberians crying. He said, there's good people laughing at us. It's a disgrace. Your country get a lot of joy that you put back here that what people teaching us on here. So he should do proofreading before going on stage to disgrace Liberia. He said it was a disgrace and it's still a disgrace and will continue to be a disgrace to us. Proofreading is important. In leak again, who brought it outside? It should be a very strong investigation. Before he went on stage to read to us, already it was out. Some of us here started hearing about it. Some of the messages started going around before he even went on stage Monday. What is that? Where are we? Where are we heading to? So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That's a Liberian project, a project for the country, not a personal project. We give him plus for that. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, madam. Have a nice day there in the States. Hello.
Yes. Afternoon, Mr. Sam Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Peter David Castle. I come from Honor the State Light in Lower Johnson. Thank you for the fascinating discussion. No, Mr. Sam Andrew, the communication that was written by Honorable Edwin Snow, it's just an communication sometimes, and it doesn't need a positive response, but it's just a reflection of the guys that are in power. Because yesterday, the Frank we are a government officials of using private jet. Today, Joseph Walker leaving from here to go to Ghana, he's going to run private jet to go. That's clear. And just as you said, our major focus now should be on the expenditure aspect, because the Liberian cannot be living in other property and destitution. Then you have a president that keep on the march of rescue, using private jets to just be flying all over without no economic difference to the Liberian people. And nobody knows what he's going there for. Because as I check on the executive marshal WhatsApp, Kula Fofana have not posted anything, as related to what Joseph Boakai going for in Ghana.
He sent a formal notice to the legislature that he will be leaving today and returns on the 31st.
I hope he's not going there for health issue. You see, how the country is bleeding all over internationally. Louis Brown blunder. When it comes to the domestic affair again, Joseph Boakai and cabinet ministers are just putting the country into a serious disastrous movement. But we articulated these things to our people yesterday. They did not listen. Here we are today. The information minister came with apology. Mo Ali went to different governments, 70,000 jobs, nothing. If he was intellectually and educationally flawed by Julia J.
All right, Chief. Thank you.
Running. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Andrew.
Hello.
Mr. Andrew, this is the voice of Peter Sai and come up with chairman. I join you from Sokle de Shufu.
Yeah, let's hear you, Peter Sam. You gone off, Peter Sam. You gone off, Chief. The leak that President Boakai address was out a week before. A week before, I didn't believe a given political party when I heard that some of the people said they already have the speech. I took it as a joke, that they were just kidding. But again, people started saying it within the corridor. You hear this other politician will say, oh, we got that speech is out, man. The other person will say, we're just waiting. As soon as the president finished, you'll hear our pointers. We've already highlighted the key thematic areas that we want to point out. So it was not a surprise. It tells you of the vulnerability of the president's inner cycle. Yeah, and nobody is doing it but his very people. Hello. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you are on the air.
Yeah, thank you, Queen Sam. This is the father of Jimmy. I'm Jimmy. I come from Honor Avenue. With me, brother, Sam, I think the the Minister of State need to go on a serious note. If President Baga is a serious president,
why? But we don't know the speech writers. We don't know all the speech writers. It is the investigation that will tell us. Everything we're doing is just assumption. We don't know whether the Minister of Information was involved with this writing of the speech or Kula Fofana was involved. We just don't know that composition. So if they are serious, like they announced that investigation is on the way, then it will bring out all of the writers, those who constituted a team to write the president's address.
So we are agree, and you're my friend. The issue is that I'm saying that the Minister of State need to go, and the Chief of Protocol to the President also need to go, because the issue is that when they wrote that speech, they submitted that speech to the President office. And the Minister of State came to me saying, in order to see the speech, to see the error in the speech, he's not putting it on the President's desk. So the Minister of State is the one who manages the President, along with the President Protocol, not the Chief of Protocol, but the President Protocol itself, for example, that role has been a bonus thing. So I think that Mamaka Bede is in a position. Two of them need to go because they are not managing the president well. Even the president does not manage the well.
No, that one, I would disagree with you on those names that you name after the chief of office style. If you say the chief of office style is one of the principal persons responsible for writing the president's speech, I will agree with you.
So what I'm saying is that, Andrew, when I speak, they submitted that speech on the president's desk, and I see them jump over the Minister of State. So I know that the Minister of State, they read that speech. Because according to the information we're getting, the speech behind the president, they have more than one more. So the Minister of State can tell me that he never captured that speech to go over to see the error, find the enforcement. That's the problem, because he didn't manage the presidency. He's slow when the women are passed away in a row.
All right, Chief. All right. Thank you. All right, Chief. Thank you so much. Let's get to the women's line again. Hello.
Yes, how do I do my son?
I'm doing good as always. Thank God for life. And you?
Yes, I'm okay, Baba. Although my head now too, I thank God for life. So I put people, other people. They put how they said it here, already gone. The war was taking it. Because they know that when they see them, they're going to get what they say more Ali. So go train it and go and expose them. So nobody will bring. They met for 2 years, all the estimate, all the book. You must be anybody here. See what you wrote for almost 2 months. Okay, I say, somebody did it, somebody play with it. That is Malo, on. No, Sam Aju. That's what I believe, yeah. What they put, go send it here. On their past, so they force it, all the guys say, oh, they put that way to see. Then, all I was going to read that black. Nothing will come in that thing. So nobody going, that is nobody going. Thank you.
Man, say nobody going. They say they're investigating.
I said that black. Same as you that black. Yeah, what you see?
Oh,
so I want to get laughing at us. You know what? Me, whole country, president, who don't know before that. Somebody can say, oh, person, we are like the thing is saying la. But I don't know all the education. So tell us what the mess wrote over there and what the mess said at the place there. And all people come and say, oh, the man lie. It's won't fall out of the my brother that black. And nobody going. The men enjoying the privilege of other people. Nobody going outside. I do. Trust me.
But man, that serious thing the people are, then you're not taking it serious?
But I take it serious for. But they say responsible government, they say to take it serious. Responsible government, they say we take it serious. Why take it serious? If you get the education, take it serious. Let go buy all the money, either to go fabulous.
So that the one you eating, they even mama?
Yeah, it's I don't got you just at the meeting content. Okay, now. I said I got you just
that driver mama or promoter mama.
I said it's not Gary. I'm telling you, it's not Gary now.
But we're gonna flavor that, so we're gonna make sure that Gary and mama.
Oh yeah, you know it's yeah, you know it. American
no, but I know Jare and mama, but you say Gary and mama. That one. Why not? Okay, all right.
Gary, that one you to me now.
Okay.
and I said they lie, they put to the public. That they get someone job, they job, and we buy a message at John again. If people are a John again, so they push him. Now they can't say, to get it, man, that lie.
All right. All right, Masizi, you went off. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
You are on the air, Chief.
Yeah, I'm Nicholas Kofa, calling from Ghana. While the speech is talking about that they made mistake, they don't make no mistake. They don't make mistake. They brought shame to them while they were expecting for people to be happy. And they don't make that. That's why they say that somebody they would speak. But nobody changed that say something about what in their heart. The thing that when the president on the land while he's speaking, people will be so happy. But they don't see it in people facing that wow. President Boake, he can't sack nobody there.
Okay,
because
Chief.
he have money.
All right. Thank
He
you.
have money. Okay.
Hello. Hello. You went off, Chief. Hello.
Hello, Sam Andrew.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for the show. I'm Gina Gator. I'm calling from Mama Point. Sam Andrew, when someone say, me, I would dance with the devil to get anything. That's part of being presidency or whatsoever. So you must know say,
Hello, Janet. You went off. What's happening? You went off, madam. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
That's my message. My city, either way, power. The moment either way, power. The power that 35 to 35. So my city, either way, power.
Yeah. The more enjoy the evening. She said that moment she eating.
Yeah, my I want the power, I put water, I put the moment I eat.
Oh,
You
okay.
want 35 to 35.
All right.
You pay card out to 35 to 35. Power there. Thank you.
That flower you're eating? All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I eat it. And I don't person that money. That we power plus a card down for 35 to 35.
Okay.
Yeah, go back and say that mommy either way.
All right, man. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. 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 I'm okay, you people, but I know what you're doing with men line. You're fighting together on. So let's go to the women's line. Yeah. Let's try again. Hello. Okay. Hello. Hello.
yeah, Andrew,
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the lamb, Gina Gator. As I was saying, Joseph Baka came to us during the campaign. He said he would dance with the devil. So anything happen in the country is not strange. And it should not be strange to anybody. The only thing we're asking God for, let God help us to get our long left to see this election. Because everything in the country here is not even going straight. Yeah? If you can sell core water, you will sell and hold it. You will not even find 3 persons coming to come buy water from you. I get 2 buses in my house. Nobody can even come ask for ice, neither water. Yeah? Then you sell all to survive. If the country was happy, if people were taking salary, if government 777 were making money, as he claimed like he gave 70,000 people job in the country here, market women will be crying, will not be crying. They came to starve us, they came to stagnate us, They came to humiliate us, but God will reward them for everything they do to us in the country here, especially the United Party. United Party. United Party. You're enjoying today, but the next time you will not see power in the country here again, because Liberia are not stupid and will remain friends. By the grace of God, 2029 will change power. Y'all will see yourself. Y'all go say it's the one y'all man. Who can you remember? Yeah? On inauguration day, the next thing. Yeah? The first time he go to the sooner address to the capital building, something happened. What kind of
All right, madam. All right.
Thank you. I beg you, Papa. Tell me the snow. I hold your phone.
Yeah, okay, land.
That is too much in the country here. They're taking too much advantage. When you turn, they say everybody is enjoying the country. Who is enjoying the country here? Then they pour him up. It's not stuck there like that. Nobody enjoying the country. The least man will enjoy. Then we know say yeah, the country.
No, people enjoying in the country.
Nobody enjoy. Like United Party people enjoy.
But in the country, that the people enjoy it.
And we are Liberian. We entitled to what they're supposed to
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
All right, y'all did well. Y'all spiced it up. Y'all spiced the show up. Thank you so much. I have to, even if that 1 minute to talk, my way returns to the presidency 2029, why Unity Party people don't like. They say we are messed the country up. We are not coming back. We say we are coming back. A 50-50. I want you people to listen to Minister Gafuan's response. 2 weeks ago, it was flagged by Sekou Kalasco that the portrait, meaning the picture of former Finance and Development Planning Minister Samuel Tuer, was removed. When I saw that, I took a stroll at the Ministry of Finance, and I saw that it was his portrait was there and it's there. But then why standing around there, the Fadiga brother who is running consultancy communication at the Ministry of Finance came and he stood for a little while, aware of what unfolded. He asked the security what happened, and the security said yes, it was thrown. And he said what removed the former finance minister to a portrait? He said the storm. That's what he said. And then the Fadiga guy asked him how long it been. He said a month, meaning the storm entered the building, went to Samuel Tuer portrait, removed it from there, left the rest of the people. And within that 1 month, they saw it not necessary to put it back until Sekou Kalasco raised that issue and other people started running with a year and there. The Minister of Finance, the Minister of Bread and Butter Ministry, and truly, listen, you're in wrong. You're who saying, referring to the Ministry of Bread and Butter, you're in wrong. You don't even take it as joke. You people are 100% right. 100%. You're in wrong. That is the role. And at the monetary arm of the government, and at the place that can make people life improve and every other thing. Yeah, so they're responsible. I need not be, if you listen to AB last night, he explained exactly what the whole thing bread and butter. And you see the Ministry of Finance inside. So when you're saying it, you're 100% right. You don't just take it as political joke. That joke there, that reality, that true. So you'll be calling it. If I were you people, when I say Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, we'll say Ministry of Bread and Butter. That it means the life, the lifeblood of the country, the substance, every other thing, human existence, that are ministry there. So you ain't wrong when you say Ministry of Bread and Butter. And that's why the Minister of Finance was very rude. Yeah, he felt that he was being cheeky. And when I listened to Gafwan yesterday saying that, I just laugh. I say, yeah, you know, he having lay relief now, so he cheeking up people. Yeah, he had some difficult times here. You used to see Gafwan smiling at that. You see, he was worrying. It was not easy. So he get lay relief now, so he cheeking people up. Say they must go open a ministry to be buying bread physically for people. He right. You listen to him. He commented on the Samuel 12 removal portrait. Listen to him what he said.
Recently, your ministry came under attack for totally removing former ministers' pictures and among former ministers.
What you said?
I said recently, your ministry came under attack for reportedly removing Minister 12 pictures from the wall, among other pictures. How true is it?
Well, Dave, thank you for asking us that question. Minister 12 and I will have a common history. We shall respect. We have common friends. In fact, 12's brother Norris is a good friend of mine. We're at the University of Liberia. We're grown in that crucible.
Chief, go straight to the point. Forget about all those things.
It's different. On one side,
that's why I say Labrador make an answer question.
But we feel that we got shopping because of the, we're men. We're men. Some of them are here. Was never out of hate. It was never out of hate. And the fact that Samuel Doe 12 served this country for 6 years, a historical fight. Whether anyone likes it or not, that's a historical fight. You cannot be revisionist. And so when I came in, one of the things I noticed was the picture of Wilma Kamara, whom I took over from, and that of Samuel 12 were not on the wall. And I told my folks, we have to put the pictures on the wall. And they did. The pictures have been on the wall all along. We are very busy people, especially when it comes to budget preparation, December and all that stuff. We don't sleep. Sometimes we don't have weekends because, as I told you, sometimes in those seasons, our weeks don't end. So that place is a place of traffic. Someone might have hit the picture, and something happened. I think they hit the pictures, and we're not coming.
You're listening to this diabolical lie, this pathological lie from the finance minister. You see the contradiction. He says somebody must have hit the picture. Ergo, the man is confirming what Sekou said, that one of the ministers in the Ministry of Finance confided in him that they were instructed to remove Samuel 12 portrait from there. Listen to the Minister of Finance, Gafwan. Why you stoop so low? Why you lie like this? That somebody reportedly hit the picture. So all the pictures over there, they're on the same level, the same line. They are positioned in a way that when you hit one, it damages another. Because they are all close. How can you say somebody may have reportedly hit? There are educated people in this country. Then when we talk, they say, oh, you ain't respect the leader then. Stupid doll. What are you get versed at your business?
Budget preparation, December and all that stuff.
Anyone ain't got nothing. It doesn't have. What has picture? What has portraits on the wall got to do with budget preparation or basic? There are people who are responsible for that. There are people who are responsible. That's what is meant by institution. When you say institution, it means you have people in place. When you say institution, you mean system. You mean division of labor. Yeah, this is an institution. The people who are responsible for what they're responsible. If anything, it be questions. Why this one is not there? Who the person responsible? Why didn't? That's what they call institution. When you're saying institution, you're saying system. You're saying organization. You're saying division of labor. He should not portray it like they are responsible to do it. It is not the minister's responsibility to go and check portraits, to know who portrait there, who portrait not there. It ain't got nothing to do with that. You are the boss. It only means the person who is responsible to ensure that the person was negligible. So you as minister now, you should be telling the public that I took action. It's not to say we've been busy with the budget and December, yeah. So he's portraying it like he's responsible or he was responsible to put it there, so he's been busy. Why don't you do this thing to the country for? Why you continue to show the hate everywhere? As if this place is Unity Party property. Listen to this crap the man talking. Call himself Minister of Finance.
Sometimes we don't have weekends because, as I told you, sometimes in those seasons, our weeks don't end. So that place there is a place of traffic. Someone might have hit the picture. And
you hear him? Someone might have hit the picture. After confirming, when he came, he said, he confirmed that he took over from Boima Kamara and Samuel Twe. And he confirmed that Samuel Boima photo, Boima portrait, Twe portrait were not there. Then he confirmed it. He confirmed it. He said they were not there. So it means it was intentionally taken. And let's go, yeah, Chief.
something happened and then they hit the pictures. And Boima Kamara's picture fell. And Samuel Twe's picture fell. Two pictures fell. And our folks, while they were trying to working on stuff, making sure that, we get a stronger frame and doing that stuff, someone went and noticed that the pictures were not on the wall. And the road. I really appreciated that they even brought it to our attention, to be fair. The only thing is
I see you, man. It ain't worth listening to. Sorry, no disrespect to you people. What a man can lie like this? You didn't even know how to lie. You didn't even know. Just say it was a negligence. And we have taken the corrective measures. That's what you do as administrator. Own up to the responsibility. Say we take responsibility for what happened. It wasn't intentional. However, we have corrected it and it will not happen again. That's what you do. You don't have to wrap around it, acting like you know too much. You know how to rhetoricize, because that's what you are doing. You are rhetoricizing. Just own up to your responsibility. That the person, whatever may have happened, we took note of that. It's corrected. The portraits are there. It's not going to happen again. You don't have to explain all that he explained. No. There you go, Liberia. Damn. Let's have this break, man. Even if that 1 minute I will talk about Mawia returns to the presidency. But let's have this break. What is song? It's called, I just titled A Political Betrayer. I want you to listen to the wordings. It's so unique.
They stood on podium, smile sharp like blades, whispering sweet lies in the market shades. Well, with Tinubu, we'll bring him home. As in Nnamdi Kanu, we never walk alone. Handshakes in Abuja, champagne at night, while chains grew tighter in the DS's light. You sold your brother for a seat at the table, turned freedom to ashes, made justice unstable. Oh, Southeast politicians, wounds wearing lace. You traded our hero for power and grace. You smiled in the villages, you lied to our face. Now Maserati's in prison, disgrace, disgrace. betrayers of the blood, betrayers of the soil. You dine with the devil while our dreams boil. You spoke of rule of law, that phantom decree, a charge she invented no one else could see. Secret trials at midnight, no witness, no proof, while you collected Esther code under the roof. Life imprisonment whispered in corridors deep. Your loyalty was never ours to keep. You wore Ankara, but your hearts wore chains. You bowed in our so rough while we carried the pain. Oh, Southeast politicians, wolves wearing lace. You traded our hero for power and grace. You smiled in our villages, you lied to our face. Now Marty rots in prison, disgrace, disgrace, disgrace. Your hands are red, your promise is black. History will curse you, there's no turning back. We trusted your tongues, we believed your tears, but every we're working was a knife in our ears. You feast in the villa while our leader wastes. Your children in London are our future erased. Saudis, politicians, your every crime you swallowed, every deal you bought. The people remember, the ancestors see. You sentenced our own son for wanting us free. One day the chains will break, the truth will rise, and your thrones will crumble beneath angry skies. You promised us freedom, you delivered in death. Shame on you forever, your betrayal won't rest.
Shame on you forever, you betrayed us. Nice song. It's all about political betrayal. Yes. We are returned to the presidency 2029. Take it or leave it, like it or not. It is going to be. Life has every opportunity. Life has come back, and comeback is a blessing. Comeback is not a curse. Comeback is a blessing. Comeback is open to anybody. It is a door that is open to anybody, except you don't want to get back. We are returned. There's every possibility of that. We have talked about most of the possibilities. There are new possibilities unfolding. We will continue to talk about it. The man himself is the one who explains himself, the man who sells himself, the man who rebrands himself. What we do is to talk the future, because the future from our political reasoning is what the people need to know. That's all. The people only need to know the future. Everything is known of the man, his work. So we talk less about his work, more the future. In such a political terrain or a political time, you don't want to get the people bored that George Weah built Fulton Military Hospital, that George Weah got the Redemption Hospital off the ground, which is about to be or will be dedicated anytime soon, that George Weah constructed, rehabilitated, paved several roads, main roads, feeder roads, community roads, that you don't need to tell anybody that George Weah exposed the country to recreational life, that today everybody, all political parties, down to the ruling establishment that condemn him and say he messed the country up, they go there to amuse themselves. You don't need to tell people of those things. They are there. They are practical testimony. You only need to tell the people what George Weah is going to add to what already exists. That is the political reason. Take that to any political scientist. It will tell you St. Andrews is right. Can be telling people that George Weah built Fulton Military Hospital. They will look at me and say, don't you have anything new to say? They will ask that question, and that question will be right, because they will be telling me by that question that I'm aware. I know that. I want to hear something new. And that's what you're going to start hearing new things about the man, the character, Weah. Let me share this with you that came from a former government official who supported the Unity Party, resigned from the Unity Party, not the Unity Party of Joseph Yema Boakai, president, but the Unity Party of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He, for whatever the reason, according to him, he resigned from Unity Party. Fast forward, he got a place in Weah's government. And some people said, oh, Weah was too open, too liberal. That's why all that people did and stay saying about him, he looked for it because they wanted him to have been conservative. I can tell you that Weah was right. A person nature is a person nature. When you are good, you are good. When you are bad, you are bad. Obviously, you can change a person's nature. That's who Weah is. Weah lives in different cultures. So put all those different assimilations together, meaning the characteristics of various cultures that you adapt to or get onto you, is what they call in sociology assimilation. Put all those things together. You know what I mean? To live in almost all of the countries of the world, traveling here and there. Not only are you exposed, but it has a change on your behavior. Naturally, Weah is liberal. He's open. He's sociable. Not the discriminatory type, not the selfish type. So becoming president, you expect that that person will not say that only my people I'm dealing with, only my people. That's why people used to, his own people, they used to be complaining. They will go on radio stations and say, well, we are not prioritizing his own people, his own supporters. He's taking people from outside. His government was inclusive, but that is his nature also, that everybody will have a say. Not only that, but everybody somehow will have a plastic bag to carry home, just as Ellen Johnson earlier said, Papa coming home, and Papa never went home with a plastic bag. George Weah didn't have to make any announcement that Papa would come home. He only needed to show his nature of incorporating people, helping people. The number of partisans of Unity Party that were in George Weah government, Unity Party no government want to do that. This official, we having a conversation. We met by accident because they listen to the show. They listen in the evening, they listen in the morning. And so we are conversing, 3 persons. The person gets down from his car after seeing us wave back, and then we lecture him from one end to another. And the person, while talking from one end to another, said, look, I work in the Weah's government. George Weah is not, the government was not perfect. The government had its imperfections. Weah himself has his imperfections, or had his imperfections as president. But Weah is just who he is naturally. The person went on to say, I can tell you that bad things did not happen in Weah's government. There were bad things that happened, as well as there were good things. There were perfections as well as imperfections, which every government will have. He said, I have my own experience. But I cannot come out, as much as I know some things, I saw something, I cannot come out to condemn George Weah, to say awful things against him. I cannot do that. I may think that I'm saying something good to get people's attention, but I am putting my character on a path that people, wherever I want to go or what I want to venture into, might have that reciprocal effect, because you do not know who is who there. It's possible it could be people who are supportive of George Weah, you will not know. And so it's all but fair that you just leave it, because every regime come, they have their own, they go the other. Then the second reason the person gave, say, I cannot criticize George Weah. I cannot say anything negative of George Weah. Not that I don't know, but it would be too immature on my part for my level of education, my exposure in politics, to stoop so low, going to the media or calling the media to say XYZ against George Weah. The guy said, we're listening or you're talking, politician, good. He said, let me tell you guys. He said, George Weah is loved by the people. George Weah is popular in this country. He said, if George Weah will return to the presidency, coming back to the presidency, it would not be based on what people are doing around him, what other people are doing. He said that it will be based on the people's decision. He said he has the popular will, the support of the people. When asking question, oh, you talking? You know, so that kind of lecture there. Me, that kind of lecture I give you chance. And I interrupting and I injecting except when it need be. He talking. That part. He said George Weah is loved by the people in this country. And nobody knows the future. That the people will decide. And I see that the people, they are ready to get George Weah back again. He said, I see that the people, they are ready. There is every possibility, he said, for Weah to return. If Weah returns to the presidency, I've criticized him, I said all kinds of things. The men say that new future ready. What kind of face will I have? As he was saying, I was thinking on the other guys who came out hurriedly. The men say nobody knows the future. And I can never doubt that thing that George Weah will not come back. He said, nobody get future, only God. I can never go into that other thing to get right here, that sentimental politics, the person will not come back. The man said, nobody knows the future. He said, everything you see right now, the people, they stay ready for that man. They want. They're not white people saying around. How they saying it? The man said that the people. The man said, I don't mind no thing people talking. Oh, they want it, they want it. The man said that the people, everything will happen at the ballot. When the people elect the man, what you will do? Nothing. You have to accept it. Then as you can't be criticizing, the man said, I can stoop that low. I work in we are government. Everything was not bread and butter. But I will never come out to criticize. The man said, 2 years now, 2 years, I don't get a job. But you don't see me going to seek anybody's attention, seeking government attention, to use the media to criticize we are. Then a friend of Unity Party will call me and say, my man, I will look for something for you. The man said, I went to school. I'm using my intellect, the little education that God gave me. He said, I can go to the prayer, I teach. I want to do the other one. I do my church work. 2 years now. I said 2 years I'm working. I can do what other people have done. But why will it profit me? It's wrong. No one knows the future. The man kept on stressing that thing. He said, we are is loved by the people. He said the people, we are loved. The people just like the man. The people just ready for him. Does that kind of mean you will come out to be saying negative things about to get the ruling establishment attention? Honestly, that morning we had the conversation. The man said, if there are things I work in, we are government. It was not, everything was not 100%. There are things that happen in the government. But must I come outside to get media attention, to get ruling establishment attention, that we are did this, we are not this? The man said, nobody knows the future. He said, life can change anytime. The people just like we are. The people ready. In 2029, you don't doubt it. They'll go and elect him. Then what faith will I have? After finishing all those things, the man said, life can change anytime. Life is not static. And I was only sensing the reality from what he was saying. That's true. That is true. That is true. We can be repetitive to that. Everybody knows Weah is the most popular person in this country. And there's every possibility that Weah will return. And Unity Party don't want him to return. They're not denying. They know his personality. They know his popularity. They know his political wit. They know his political force. They know that he is a giant, a political giant. They know that he is a people center. They know that he has what is referred to in the Bible as seed. S-E-A, seed, not a reference to water, but seed, just like you hear God said, and I saw the beast rising out of the sea. A sea is a reference for unprecedented number that nobody can count, only God, unprecedented. The lay expression that we can use for here, they can say masses, they say multitude. But God, he used multitude, he used masses. He said, sea. George Weah has that the political seed. That's what we say. We are alone can win election in this country. When you hear that expression, don't just take it as mere expression. It's a reference for a seed. He has the people. You say, oh, Unity Party doing this, Unity Party doing that. Listen. Have you not heard people say, what? Human being deceived, all the things the man did. Have you not heard people say that? You can do everything for a given person or a given people. The person they like, that the person they're going for. They ain't get time for all the things that you did. They're going for that person that high looking. When I tell you, you'll not believe it, that Joseph Yeman Boakai, president of Liberia, can turn Liberia into heaven, the people will still vote Unity Party out. Understand this expression. They will have no time. So Unity Party people will sit on the poor here on it and say, God, the hardest society, the hard human being looking. How do people deceive us so? All the things that Boaka did, the people stay where? Tell you that what the man was saying. The man said likeness. Likeness can supersede development. He said nobody should overlook George Weah. Nobody should think because George Weah safe. And people saying George Weah will not come back. So that means a certain segment of society should take it. The man said love for a person supersedes development. You can develop everything you turn the place into heaven. And the people say that man will want. They ain't looking at what you did. They're looking at their love, their interest, their everything, that person. You United Party supporters, be overlooking it because you think you're in power. You think President Joseph Ima Boaka there, or you think because you're doing one or two things, or because certain people go to a given platform and say, oh, Boaka making the progress, Boaka doing that, we are not coming back. So you buy into it too. The reality calls you to open your mouth. Open your mouth, yeah. Flies going inside just how it was in Somalia. You're confused. The man said, look, let me tell you guys. The man said love for human being supersedes development. The people of this country, they love Weah. They will not be looking at anything development. They will not be looking, it will not be their concern that Boaka did it, Boaka did that, Boaka said they want up. The people going for a man they like, they're going that likeness carrying there. And Unity Party knows that. That's why you see 2029, they will try to do some funny things. They know the weight of George Weah. And they have even campaigned. They have even campaigned and they stay campaigning for George Weah. One of the campaigns they did, let me tell you, and then we out. One of the campaigns they did for George Weah, I consider that campaign of resolve. That breaking down of the headquarters of CDC, it increased the people love for George Weah by another 5, so that 10, their love for George Weah has risen to 10. When you go against a person, when you go against the people's interest with destructive act, you know what happens? Their love for that person increase by 3 or 10 or 15. They see you who went against their interest as the devil. And they will never, whatever you do to get their attention, you will never get it. You can turn the country into heaven, they will go against you. And truly, let me say it again. You can get vexed, you can argue whichever way, you can disagree. I know, because you know it can stir you up. President Joseph Yema Boaka, Mr. President, can turn Liberia into heaven. It will still not help him 2029. He can turn Liberia into heaven. He will see and he will say to himself, truly, politics is deceptive for truth. This man is the most popular man to ever walk on the soil called Liberia. Weah returns to the presidency 2029. I see you. Thank you for being with us on the show. Join us at 6 o'clock in under 20 minutes for the news, King's Newsroom, and that will take us to 8 o'clock, meaning the activities after the news. At 8, the doctor himself is in, the light of the nation, the teacher of the land, the evangelist, the Anthony at law, A.B. Williams, will face the issues. If God permits, we're back tomorrow. This is how we go home.
people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop slipping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip us some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, so the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises.